Who is Meghan Markle without the royal family? That's the question everyone in Westminster is asking right now. And it's not just gossip anymore. It's a serious warning. Behind closed doors, the UK Parliament has started changing the laws about who can use a royal title, who can make money from it, and who's getting dangerously close to crossing a line they should never cross. And right in the middle of all this is Meghan's new business empire. Her team thought they could build a worldwide brand using her Duchess title. But Parliament's message is cold, sharp, and crystal clear. The crown isn't something you can sell, and nobody's going to rent it out. People on the inside say this change didn't just come from politicians. It actually started with Prince William himself, a future king quietly working with lawmakers to close every possible loophole before Meghan's empire even gets off the ground. A move he's not making because he's being petty, but because the monarchy needs to survive. And as Parliament shuts the door on her title, one truth becomes obvious. If the royal family takes its name back, what does Meghan have left? This is where our story starts. For years, William held everything together with that calm royal smile. The steady posture, the polite nods. The guy looked like nothing could shake him. But inside the palace, something broke. William figured out the danger wasn't coming from the newspapers or from the outside world. The danger was coming from inside the family. From two people who left but never stopped using the royal spotlight like it was their personal spotlight. People inside the palace say there was a moment, a really quiet one, where William told his advisors, "This isn't about getting revenge. It's about survival." That was the turning point. Because the truth was simple. Every time Charles forgave them, the palace paid for it. Another headline, another documentary, another scandal dragging royal tradition through the dirt. Charles still believed in having tea and showing mercy. William believed mercy had turned into a weakness. In one tense conversation, Charles begged him to be gentle. William answered with the line that ended all debate. "Mercy is what got us here." He wasn't angry. He was done. And once William reached that point, the future of the monarchy started changing. Silently, but you could definitely tell. After that moment, William didn't raise his voice. He raised the standards. He started building a new monarchy, smaller, clearer, stricter. No more part-time royals. No more confusion about who does what. No more people carrying titles but not doing the work. This wasn't about getting revenge on Meghan and Harry. This was William rebuilding the whole thing so it could survive another 100 years. He wanted a monarchy that wasn't soft, sentimental, or easy to take advantage of. He wanted it modern, minimal, merciless. You're either serving the crown or you're not wearing its name. Simple. This wasn't loud palace drama. It was quiet reform. And that made it more dangerous because William wasn't trying to punish anyone. He was protecting the throne itself. And to do that, he reached for a tool older than the United Kingdom's own government, something almost nobody outside the palace ever thinks about until it hits them. Most people have never heard the term letters patent, but inside royal circles, it's the most powerful document a monarch controls. One signature can decide who's a prince and who isn't, who becomes royal and who loses that privilege forever. No court, no committee, no public debate, just the monarch's will sealed in ink. The last major rewrite happened in 1917 when King George V looked at a family overflowing with titles and said enough. He cut the list down so hard that the only reason Archie and Lilibet even got their titles was because Charles became king. But here's the part that changes everything. That rule can be rewritten again anytime by William. And palace insiders say his legal team has already written the next version, sitting quietly in Kensington Palace, waiting. According to that draft, only working royals keep titles. Only direct heirs stay protected. Royal children living abroad lose titles automatically. No appeals, no long battles, no loopholes. If William signs it as king, the change happens instantly. And Meghan's world, the brand she built, the empire she created, is balanced on one word, Duchess. Without it, the shine disappears, the power fades, the business model falls apart. And William knows that because the one weapon nobody expected him to use is the one weapon that can silence everything. William didn't create his plan out of nowhere. He studied a real-world example, one that shook another monarchy to its core. Denmark. A few years ago, Queen Margrethe II made a decision nobody expected. She stripped 4 of her own grandchildren of their royal titles. No drama, no meltdown, no years of negotiations. Just a simple, steady announcement. Clarity, not cruelty. Her reason was almost identical to William's thinking. Too many royals, not enough purpose, too much confusion. And when William watched how smoothly she pulled it off, something clicked. Palace insiders say he admired her precision, the timing, the wording, the calm execution. He reportedly called it bold, clean, and necessary. After that, William started studying her process step by step. Not emotionally, not personally, strategically. Legal language, timing of announcements, how to slim down a monarchy without causing a media explosion. And he didn't stop there. He brought in European royal advisors, the same people who have guided other monarchies through painful but necessary cuts. William wasn't reacting to headlines. He was building a blueprint, a new system, a new order, a monarchy sharpened like a blade. And once he understood how Denmark did it, he knew exactly how to do it in Britain. Quietly, legally, permanently. Across the ocean in Montecito, the sun was bright, but the tension was darker than ever. The whispers of William's plan hit Hollywood before they hit the press. And Meghan's team realized something chilling. Her entire post-royal identity is balanced on one glowing word, Duchess. That word isn't decoration. It's the cornerstone of her empire. It's what gets her booked for speaking events. It's what makes luxury brands take her calls. It adds weight to interviews, deals, partnerships, and every headline. Without it, she becomes just another celebrity in a celebrity-filled town. The royal shine is the brand. The royal shine is the product. The royal shine is the engine behind the entire business. And if the monarchy removes the title, the engine stops. The invitations slow down. The deals shrink. The attention shifts. Everyone on her team understood the stakes immediately. If William signs the new letter's patent, the word Duchess doesn't fade slowly. It disappears overnight. And once it's gone, her empire has to face a terrifying question. What does Meghan Markle look like without the royal halo she built her brand around? The moment William's legal plans started spreading through industry circles, Meghan's inner circle shifted into full crisis mode. Emergency calls, late-night strategy meetings, PR consultants flown in, brand managers scrambling for options. Their biggest fear wasn't losing money. It wasn't losing influence. It was losing that one word. So they came up with a radical idea. One that stunned even their own lawyers. What if Meghan trademarked Duchess of Sussex as a surname, a legal name, a permanent brand, a shield against whatever the palace planned? It sounded dramatic. It sounded impossible. But to her team, it sounded like survival. Because if the monarchy could take the title away, maybe they could at least turn it into a commercial identity. But William's legal advisors saw the move coming before it even began. Before Meghan's side could push an application through the system, palace lawyers quietly started tightening every trademark rule connected to royal titles. No commercial use, no ownership claims, no branding rights, no loopholes. The message from Buckingham Palace was silent but unmistakable. The monarchy reclaims its name. Not with arguments, not with press statements, with paperwork, with law, with the sharpest tool the crown has always controlled. And that was the moment Meghan's world shifted. Because if William's reform plan went all the way, the title she built her new life around was no longer hers to keep. Not emotionally, not legally, not commercially. Just one more reminder that you can leave the palace, but the palace still decides what you're allowed to carry with you. While Montecito scrambled, London stayed calm. Too calm. Because by the time whispers reached California, William's plan was already past the idea stage. It was entering the execution stage. Behind palace walls, constitutional experts had been working with William's advisors for months. Their goal was simple: give the future king the power to define who is royal without Parliament needing to approve it. They called it a parliamentary alignment, a framework that quietly shifts the balance of royal authority back toward the throne. In other words, once William becomes king, He won't need debate, votes, or political negotiations to determine royal status. He can act instantly, legally, irreversibly. And the first target of this new power is the same pair who walked away but refused to walk quietly, Harry and Meghan. Not out of pettiness, not out of anger, but because William refuses to allow titles to be worn like fashion accessories, especially by people who don't contribute to the institution that gives those titles meaning. He wants a monarchy that stands firm, one immune to Hollywood deals, Netflix contracts, PR stunts, and personal branding empires. So the plan was written in black and white. Working royals keep titles. Direct heirs remain protected. Everyone else removed. Clean, cold, final. Politicians who once questioned whether the monarchy even mattered were now impressed. William wasn't just preparing to inherit a crown. He was preparing to rebuild it. And for the first time in years, the monarchy looked stable. Inside Buckingham Palace, something changed. Something almost nobody expected. Silence. Not the tense kind. Not the waiting for a scandal kind. Real silence. Calm. Clarity. The endless noise. The interviews. The headlines. The dramas. The family tug-of-war was finally fading. Officials inside the palace say the atmosphere felt different. More focused. More disciplined. More confident. William wasn't acting like an heir anymore. He was acting like a reformer. Someone willing to make the decisions everyone else avoided. Some called it ruthless, others called it overdue. But everyone understood one thing. He was protecting the monarchy from drowning in chaos that didn't belong to it. Even critics in Parliament who questioned the royal family's relevance for decades quietly admitted the institution felt stronger now, leaner and more professional. The dead weight had been cut. The noise had been silenced. The crown stood taller. For everyone inside Buckingham Palace, this was the first time in years they could breathe. Because William finally drew a line, a sharp, unmistakable line. Family is one thing. The institution is another. And the institution comes first. But while London stabilized, Montecito's panic only grew. Meghan's empire, every contract, every appearance, every invitation was tied to one undeniable truth. Her power came from the title, not the job, not the role, the title. And William's plan was designed to remove exactly that. If he signs the new letters patent as king, the words Duchess of Sussex evaporate from Meghan's world. Not slowly, not gradually. Overnight, her speaking effie's lose value. Brands rethink partnerships. Hollywood sees less sparkle. And the aura that followed her since 2018 starts to dim. Because the harsh truth whispered in every PR room across Los Angeles is simple. A duchess without a title is just another celebrity. Her team tried to stop the fallout before it hit, pushing strategies, trademark angles, identity pivots, but Buckingham Palace had already closed the door. And when the monarchy closes a door, it doesn't reopen it. The brand she spent 4 years building suddenly felt fragile. The foundation wasn't stone. It was borrowed prestige and it was being taken back. In the end, the story doesn't finish with shouting or lawsuits or public feuds. It ends with something far louder. Silence. The monarchy tightened its structure. William solidified its future. The chaos dissolved and the royal machine continued forward without looking back. For the crown, the message was clear. It does not compete. It reigns. But for Meghan, the silence hits differently because without the title she built her identity on, without the name she turned into a brand, without the Duchess sparkle that opened doors before she even stepped into the room, she faces a question she's never had to answer. Who is Meghan Markle without the monarchy? A celebrity, a public figure, a humanitarian, or someone still searching for the identity she lost the moment the crown reclaimed what was never hers to keep? That question hangs in the air quietly, sharply, permanently. And somewhere across the ocean as Buckingham Palace settles into its new calm, the message drifts through the silence like a closing chapter. You can leave the royal family, you can criticize it, you can profit from it, but you cannot control it because in the end, the crown isn't a brand. It's an institution, and it always takes itself back.